Well, I meant to do another video this morning, but that phone is being charged, so I have to use this phone, which may get a phone call because I'm such a popular guy. So we're just going to doodle. This is a new nib and pen for me. I got it recently, and it has a really nice snappiness to it, which I love when I'm doing calligraphy. When I'm doing drawing, however, this pen would be a little too delicate. Could be a little too delicate. Sometimes when I'm drawing, I get into the emotion of the moment, and I push in a direction that a pen doesn't necessarily like. And with this pen, I would be afraid I would damage the nib in my exuberance. But the standardized lines of a calligrapher, a calligrapher would not have that problem. This pen, this Schaefer, I think I would feel more comfortable doing a drawing with and get into the dynamism of the moment and forget anything but what the art is telling me to do. And I might push this pen in this direction and not have a problem because the point is slightly more rounded and I wouldn't snag the paper or snap the nib or do something nasty. This pen can be used, any pen can be used for calligraphy if you're a calligrapher, and any pen can be used for drawing if you're a draftsman, but there are better pens that are suited for a particular purpose. This one, why is it skipping? I'm dipping, I've got this jar. This is my lid. My lid is a cue ball from a sort of 3/4 size billiard set. Somewhere in the world, in the various multi-universes, there's an infinite number of universes, they tell us. And therefore, anything is possible. In fact, everything has to be possible. So somewhere in the world somewhere in the universes, there is a planet that looks exactly like this. Exactly. In fact, somewhere there's a planet. This is actually the planet because it would have to be in this. Anyway, I watch too much YouTube videos. So this is a inkwell that's missing its real top, and I use the cue ball to keep it from evaporating, but oftentimes I forget and it evaporates, and then I water it down with other liquids, water mainly, but I pour in other ink I'm using. This is a slurry, a slop bucket of slop buckets is what we would use at the museum, at the restaurant I worked at. It was a big, bucket that is supposed to contain things like cement, and it had a big handle on it like this, and it was our slop bucket. So you go around all of the tables and you pour in the coffee and the melted ice cream and the gravy, whatever was liquid on the table, you'd throw into this slurry of absolute nastiness. So that's what this is like. This is my slurry of nastiness. So the fact that the ink is not flowing as freely is probably due to the fact that the concoction of inks in this slop bucket is causing trauma. Trauma. Oops, come on. The phone, which is taking the picture, the movie of me, is in between my eyeball and the paper. And when I am looking at the paper around the camera, I don't see what's on the camera, and I don't know if I'm going off the page or not. So as you can see, this pen can make beautiful calligraphic lines, but this is really good for drawing. Whereas this pen, we'll pick this one. This is my Waterman number 12 that I just fixed the nib. The nib was, it looked like, you know, when you see those cartoons where Woody Woodpecker is pecking at wood and the owner of the house is tired of him, you know, destroying the mailbox, so he has his mailbox made of cast iron and he paints it to look like wood, and Woody Woodpecker goes into it and suddenly Woody Woodpecker's beak. Here I'm drawing with the calligraphy pen, and I was doing calligraphy with the drawing pen, so ignore everything I'm telling you. But this, let's pretend this looked like Woody Woodpecker. I don't know what Woody Woodpecker looks like, but his beak would look like this after he got done with that thing. So and that's what this nib looked like. That's what I'm getting to. This nib was, here's what it's supposed to look like, side view of the nib. And it went something like that. So I fixed it to a degree. It's doing a little bit of this. And it's really at a sweet spot right now, and I'm afraid of tweaking it any further because it may ruin the perfection that it has. You can see there the crease. So, but it's better than it was, and it makes a beautiful line, and just snaps right back to zero. Now in calligraphy, I like when pens snap back to zero, where they're going from 0 to 60. I love when any pen does that, but from 60 to 0, putting on the brakes and going back up on the upstroke, I want that to happen instantly. And some pens, it snaps back, but there's still some ink on the residual ink on the ball of the nib, which creates a rather sluggish return. And I like when that doesn't happen for calligraphy. Does this do a sluggish return? See here, even though I lift it up, it still looks like I'm pressing down, and I don't like that for calligraphy. It doesn't bother me for drawing because I'm using a different system, but when I'm doing calligraphy, I really want that to snap right back, and this one does that. This one I think does that too. This is that other new one I got, and this one too had a slight trauma to its nib. Zooming in here. Come on, why don't you work? It's pretty good. Well, you didn't even see that. Damn it. It's railroading. It's not supposed to. It's pretty fast. And why it's railroading, I don't know. But that can be repaired. Okay, zoom back out again. I just bought this pen. I really have to zoom out to see it. This is a Mont Blanc Meisterstück, and it has a big old. I mean, when I see this, I think of a big fat German in his big fat Mercedes driving down the Autobahn at slightly less speed than everyone else wants to go, just to annoy people. That's what I think of this pen. I mean, it sort of says, pay attention to me because I'm big. So whenever I see these Meisterstücks, whatever the plural in German would be, I think of a big fat man in a Mercedes-Benz. One of those old style Mercedes-Benz with the waffle iron grills, you know, that one. Here's the big fat man. Chins galore. Does he look German? Anyway, so that's what I think of when I think of the Meisterstück. What is this? The hell is this thing? It's a Wall number 3 size pen. It needs a lever. Sorry, I don't know what that's from. Just delightful. This has a pretty nice snap back as well. I'm really sorry about that. And I'm not going to edit that out. You're just going to have to listen to that. Or not. You can turn it off. What's not to like about these pens? Okay, they're showy, they're gold, there's missing a lever, but who cares? Okay, what other pen can I show you here this morning? I've shown you those already. I'm going to show you a different one. What is this one? This is a Waterman, and is this the one that has the... One of these has the lever that needs to be replaced, but this one seems to be fine. Why is this one there? This one is really, really crispy. This is a very sharp edge, that raised plastic thing there. It's really sharp. And that would, in use, that would all wear down, but it's like, this is right from the factory. Normally pens like this that are too perfect I'm afraid of using, but this one I'm not afraid of using. This has a rather nice nib, rubbery. Sort of wants to be a broad. I would call this, you know, its downstroke is sort of fat to begin with. Really a nice little pen. It's too good for my collection. Maybe I'll bring that to Baltimore and see if I can sell it, because it's in such really nice shape. This one is more my speed. Another Waterman, but see, it has plating wear. I've got plating wear. It has teeth marks. No, it doesn't have teeth marks. I have teeth marks. I have teeth marks. NT is its inscription. What kind of nib does this? This seems to have a rather firm nib. Now this one you have to work at to get the flex. But I love the thin that it has. See, that sound is important. What does this one sound like? This one has sort of a raspier sound than this one. This is like that, and this one is... What sound do you prefer? Number 1 or number 2? I kind of prefer this one. Trying it with and without the cap here. Huh. Interesting. Maybe it's all in my head. It sounds like there's, when the cap is on the back, it sounds like sound waves continue, vibrations continue up here, and they're sort of amplified by the volume of space here, and little sound waves come out of the little holes in stereo. Okay, I haven't been drinking. Yeah, but it is true. You probably can't hear it on your at home, and so it makes complete sense. You know, here, the vibrations that happen are contained in this object. When you make the object taller, of course, you have more vibratory stuff going on. And so I hear the sound coming from here. Here I don't hear the sound. I hear the sound more coming from here than here. But here, add that. It's like when you have your Victrola. I know all of you have a Victrola. Well, the reproducer makes the sound. And that's connected to a little tube, which is connected to another tube, which is connected to the big horn. Well, you can take this part off, and you can just play it right there, and the sound will come out. But you put it here, then the sound comes out of this thing. So that's what's happening here. This is like the horn on the Victrola. Okay. Write your comments below. Bye.